ICC Women's World 2020 is coming to Guyana November 9th through the 17th. Tickets start at $500 Guyanese dollars. Corporate packages are also available. Get yours at icc-cricket.com/world 2020.
In third. Well, a pleasant good morning and welcome to Kensington Oval. We are here for the start of the Sandals International Series. It's women's cricket. It's the West Indies women versus South Africa, and we are live at Kensington Oval for this 50-over series to be preempted, of course, to end off with a T20 series as we head up towards the Women's World Cup in November. I'm Barry Wilkinson. With me is Roland Butcher. A bit later on, we're going to be hearing from Pamela Levine and Siobhan Quinton as we look forward to what should be quite an exciting series. Roland, a good morning to you. Unfortunately, though, we've started late because of some bad weather in Barbados, and I think we're going to have that throughout the day. That's likely to continue. Well, we're about to see the second ball of the day, and that second ball is going to be a wide, so it means that the first run is actually taken, or you can say the South Africans are off the mark. Wasn't that call a wide?
It should have been a wide.
That was an extremely wide delivery.
I think what she actually did was call one for the over.
Oh my. Well, we're off to an interesting start. The news that the West Indies women have won the toss and they have put the South African women into bat first. We've just seen two balls being bowled so far by young Connell, and she's going to deliver the third ball now. It's a very, very overcast kind of morning here in Barbados. Extremely rainy this morning. There was a lot of rain, and unfortunately we didn't get the kind of good weather we were looking for. Now they're off the mark. We've seen now 4 wides, 5 in all, and it means the South African women are 5 without loss. Roland Butcher.
Yes, and on that occasion there, Barry, they called a wide, which really, I don't think that was a wide. It bounced before it got to the keeper and went through the keeper's leg. But yes, Barry, we started late today because we did have some torrential rain this morning.
Oh, it was hard.
And it's credit really to the ground that we've actually got started.
This delivery is again short aside the line of the off stump and taken there by the keeper. Let's have a look at the 11s. Stafanie Taylor, of course, is the captain for the West Indies, followed by Anissa Mohammed, Deandra Dottin, Afi Fletcher, Casey Knight, Shemaine Campbell, Marissa Aguilera, Shamilia Connell, who's bowling, Hayley Matthews, Shakira Selman, and Shadeen Nation. You want to call the South Africans for me? You were in South Africa before. You might know the pronunciation of these names. As yes. Connell comes in again and bowls, and this delivery brings the batsman forward. And that's young Lee. She's now off the mark. And she gets 1, and the total is 6 without loss. Yes.
Barry, it's Dane Van Niekerk, Lizelle Lee, Maritsan Cap, Sunil Lees, Chloe Trion, Masabata Class, Mignon Duprea, Laura Wolvak, CB Intezaki, Zintul Mali, Robin Searle, Tumi Sekikuna, Sarah Smith, and
well, that's the first wicket. Connell has picked up the first wicket. It's Lee who was caught. A very good catch as well. And it means that South Africa have lost an early one here in this first 50-over game of the Sandals International Series. Lee is gone, and it's South Africa 5-1. You can continue with the names.
Yeah, short and wide, and unfortunately struck it quite well, but straight to the field at point, who held on to a good catch. And the final player is a good old English name, Barry, Faye Tunnicliffe. That completes the South Africa lineup.
All right. So thank you so much, Roland Butcher. I'm not going to tease you anymore and ask you to call any more of those names. But the new batsman now is Faye Tunnicliffe. And she is there, of course, with... Correction, that's Laura Woldevart. And she is with Sunil Lees. So Sunil Lees is the new batter, and it's going to be Connell to continue. So South Africans 5-1. It's Lees. She's going to take her first ball. Very overcast conditions. I think we're going to get some more rain a bit later on. I suspect that the rain is going to be playing that kind of cat and mouse kind of day here, Roland, because it's been like that for the entire 24 hours in Barbados. But Connell with a wicket to continue. Here she comes down, bowls to Lees, and Lees gets a very wide delivery outside the line of the off stump, signaled wide now by the umpire, and that will take the South African total to 6-1. How important are these games? I know they're 50-over games. We have a lot of T20 cricket coming up with the World Cup in November. But from your perspective, Roland Butcher, you're director of cricket at the UWI. How important are these games here at Kensington?
I think they're very important. They're very important for the team as well, because it gives them good practice over a longer game leading into the T20s.
Connell again bowls outside the line of the off stump and taken there by the keeper. What an eventful first over. A wicket was taken, there was a wide as well, and there was also 4 runs. So that means that all told, it's 6-1. 6-1 after over number 1 here at Kensington Oval in the Sandals International Women's Series. West Indies versus South Africa, 50-over games. We've got 3 50-over games, and then we have some T20s, 4 T20s, 1 here, and then 3 in Trinidad and Tobago to follow.
Yeah, and good pace in the pitch, Barry. I think the West Indies faster bowlers will enjoy bowling on this. I saw a couple of balls really go through it at a decent pace, even in that very first over. So once the bowlers, I think, get warmed up, it could be fairly uncomfortable for the batsmen. So they'll be quite pleased having won the toss and elected to field.
So it's going to be
Selman.
Shakira Selman now, and bowling her first ball, and this delivery is bowled just outside the line of the off step there to Laura Woldevart. Woldevart looking for a single. Good fielding there in the outfield. You get a good buzz and a good feel about this West Indies women's team. They seem to be on sound.
Yeah, they look as if they're looking forward to this series. Good diving stop there, backward point, and a year or two ago, I mean, that would have been an easy single. So looks as if there's huge improvement.
Yeah, Woldevart again letting it go outside the line of the off stump, taken there by the keeper. How good of a chance do you think the West Indies women have in the T20 World Cup this year?
I think they've got as good a chance as any, really. The advantage of playing at home. That really needs to capitalise on that. I am not sure how much T20 cricket they have played recently. That would be my only concern.
Here she comes in again and bowls, and this delivery is driven beautifully through cover, but there's a sweeper. Miraculously, the sweeper is out there quite early. I look at the field, I realize that the boundary lines are pulled in, the ropes are pulled in, is that correct?
Yeah, Barry, it's, for these games, it's actually 60 metres is the boundary. So, as you would know, the men has another 15, 20 metres beyond that. But that was a nice shot, nice fluent front foot drive, authentic cover drive.
Yep, she looks a good player. But it's Lees on strike now. Here comes Selman and bowls to Lees, and Lees gets a delivery wide of the off stump, taken there by the keeper. And there is no run.
And that one was very wide again, Barry, and I think the umpires have been very lenient so far in these couple of overs with the wides. I just hope that they remain consistent in that area, that if you are going to not give those as wide, that they continue right throughout the game to do the same thing.
Here it comes, here she comes in again now and bowls to Lees, and Lees gets a full delivery, Playing into the onside, out to mid-on. And there's still no run for her. So we've got Sunilis. I understand she's from Bloemfontein in South Africa. You've been to South Africa? Which part of South Africa have you been to, Bola?
I haven't actually. I had the opportunity to go and I turned the offer down.
Here comes Selma in again and bowls. So this delivery is just on the line of the off stump and pushed to cover point. But Deandra Dotton is there and does the fielding, and there is still no run. So the over has ended. 2 overs gone in this 50-over contest, and it's South Africa women 7 for 1 after 2 overs. Roland Butcher.
Yeah, steady first over there by Sakira Kelman. Not really getting any great pace out of the pitch. I think she's just really feeling her way into the over. Yet, I think Connell's slightly quicker, so she's much more stronger person and putting a lot of effort into her bowling. I think she's going to really enjoy bowling on this because, you know, she's going to get good, generous bounce, and she's a strong person.
How fast is Shamilia Connell?
It's difficult. It's difficult to tell. I mean, I would really like to judge her after 4 or 5 overs where she's warmed up and then really letting the ball go. But it looks at this stage as if she could be, you know, into the 70s.
And for women's cricket, into the 70s is pretty nippy.
Yes, good.
Well, here comes Connell in again and bowls to batter, who is Woolvart. Laura Woolvart from Durban in South Africa.
Asking me about South Africa, Barry. I had an offer many years ago when Vincent van der Bijl was the South African Test player, was playing with Middlesex.
Connell comes in again and bowls to Woolvart, and Woolvart is driving, square the offside, straight there to Dotton, and there is no run.
Yes, I was given the opportunity to go and play for Windies back in that time, and I didn't feel at the time that Wanderers were ready for a move like that, so I turned the offer down.
Here comes Colin again and bowls a full delivery, driven beautifully, but well stopped. Good fielding there between the captain Stafanie Taylor and Shadeen Nation, preventing what could have been a run, but I think they came across lovely and stopped the effort, and there was no runs. Still 7 for 1.
Yeah, nice straight drive, full face to the bat, all along the ground.
Here she comes in again, Connell, and bowls to Woolvart, and Woolvart is going for a big drive outside of the off stump, misses and taken there by the keeper.
Yeah, beats in there for pace, full delivery, and obviously the ball going through nicely to the keeper. But Barry, we now have nice sunny conditions, but 2 hours ago it was far from looking like this. So the weather has changed dramatically here in Bridgetown.
It has, but I think it's going to be a cat and mouse kind of day, as this delivery again is on the line of the off stump there from Shamilia Connell, and very well played there by Woolvart. I mean, I guess these women must try and remember, or must try and understand this. Not a T20 match, it's a 50-over game. It's a good way, I guess, to work yourself into getting some cricket under your belt, because the T20 tournament, the World Cup starts in November, and they're going to end off this series with like 4 or 5 T20s. So I guess by the time they get to the T20s, they would have had some good cricket under their belts. So Woolvart again is defensive, plays it into the offside, and there's no run. That's a maiden over by Shamilia Connell. Well bowled. South Africa women then, after 3 overs, 7 for 1, being asked to bat first by the West Indies women, who won the toss in this Sandals International Series. And how happy are we to have Sandals as a sponsor?
Yes, I mean, obviously I think West Indies are quite pleased to have Sandals. For not just the women, but for West Indies cricket.
Yeah, I fully agree with you. As Selman to continue, And bowls that delivery there to Suni Lees. Lees is again on the front foot. What kind of pitch do we have out there, Roland? Because I saw you out there earlier looking at the pitch. You were looking at the conditions. You walked around the field about 2 or 3 times. And I thought you were exercising. What kind of conditions are out there?
I think very similar to the conditions we had here for that final game last week, Barry. I think a fairly dry pitch with some patches of grass at various parts of the pitch, which when the ball hits in those areas gives a generous bounce. And I think of late we've had those type of pitches with this good carry.
This delivery is a full delivery, driven. They should get a single here. They will, despite the pretty good fielding there from Stafanie Taylor, the captain, coming across. She's, of course, one of the, if not the most accomplished players in women's cricket. You look at some top women cricketers around the world, and she's definitely in the top 5.
Oh yes, there's no question about it. A very consistent performer.
Here comes Selman into bowl to Wolvart, and Wolvart gets the delivery that she's punching beautifully out to the sweeper for another single. So South Africa begin to look a bit more positive now after that maiden over. It's now 8 for 1. 8 for 1, and Wolvart has 1, so to lose Lou.
I like the look of this young lady, Barry. I think both.
Which one?
She's looks pretty good on front foot and back foot. Timing the ball nicely. Doesn't look like this is going to be a strong player, but looks a nice timing.
Here comes Selman in again and bowls to Lees, and Lees is driving. That's a good shot, but well fielded there from Shakira Selman, and there is no run. So in the Sandals series, we've had what? The West Indies women winning the toss. We had a late start, 10 o'clock. There was a 10 o'clock start because of some bad weather, and when we did get underway, there was a bit of a sprinkle, but the ground staff weren't calling the action. We're going to have Pam Levine, former West Indies women's cricketer, come on shortly as Selman bowls, and this delivery is again outside the line of the off stump, and taken there by the keeper Marissa Aguilera, who has been playing for eons, and we hope that she has a good World Cup coming up.
Yeah, in the last couple of years, she's been pretty consistent. In the past, there was a question mark about her batting, but I don't think that question mark can be there anymore. After her performances the last couple of years, I think she's certainly shut her doubters up by actually performing very well with the bat.
Here comes Selman in again, and bowls to Wolvart, and Wolvart is driving. But they've now made a bit of a change in the field. They've moved Shadeen Nation to that extra cover position. So there's no run. The over has ended with the South Africa women now on 9 for 1. 9 for 1 after 4 overs. We've had a very interesting start. More comments here from Roland Butcher.
The ICC Women's World 2020 is coming to Guyana November 9th through the 17th. Tickets start at $500 Guyanese. Corporate packages are also available. Get yours at icc-cricket.com/world 2020.
I don't think it's necessary at this stage. That delivery just pushed into the onside, but a little bit too T20-ish in that field placing by Wilkinson. Deep extra cover. I don't think it's really needed. I would, as I said before, I would like to see a much more attacking option. Get a second slip in there. Put the batsman under a little bit of pressure. Connell, she's got a new ball, new pitch. But it is good to see the West Indies ladies in action. Just putting this call out to you, all the supporters at home who are just perhaps want to watch some cricket this afternoon. Come on down to Kensington Oval. See the West Indies ladies take on South Africa. Good delivery. And yes, the ladies' game has improved significantly. Those of you perhaps who haven't seen it for a couple of years, I think you'll be pleasantly surprised at the development the game has made over those couple of years. Now, the overall cricket has improved significantly, batting and bowling.
Yeah, indeed it has. Thank you so much, Roland. So Connell to continue. Shamila Collins, she's about what? 6'1", Roland? Is she that tall?
From here, I mean, Pam could probably tell us, but I would probably say close to 6, but maybe not over 6, 5'11" maybe.
Yeah, no, Pam is saying she's 5'9". So I guess she looks 6, but she's 5'9" actually. Well, here she comes in again and bowls to Lise, and Lise is on driving. Straight to Shadeen Nation, and there is no run. Kenzanova looks really good. You know, there's been lots of talk about the outfield and stuff, but it's looking in good condition. And there's some patches, but generally we have a pretty good outfield. We just saw, of course, the culmination of 5 matches in the CPL, so it was being used quite heavily. As Connell comes in again and bowls, and this delivery brings batter is on the front foot, and there is no run. The over ends, a good over again for the West Indies women. We've had 5 overs gone so far in the Sandals International Series with West Indies women and South African women. And the South Africans been asked to bat first. They are 10 for 1. 10 for 1 with Wolvart on 3 and Elise is on 1. Comments from Roland Butcher.
Another good delivery, another good over there by Connell. Just getting into her work. Good to see that she's just bowling one side of the wicket. I think that is important. And just making sure that the field's in the right position, but she's not trying to bowl too quickly, just I think trying to get the rhythm right. And so far, I think the figures reflecting that very good start.
Oh yes, the figures have definitely reflected a good start, and we were quite pleased about that. So we're going to see Selman to continue. And here she comes now and bowls, and this time she's bowling to Wolvart, who's driving again out to the sweeper for one more run.
Oh yeah, can't use that.
So the total now goes to 11 for 1. 11 for 1 with Wolvart on 4. And we've got Lise on 1. Very good start. We've had a very sound start after that early wicket. So here comes Selman in now. Bowls to Lise. And Lise is again hitting this one in the offside, and there is no run. Women's cricket continues to grow. The Women's World Cup, the last Women's World Cup, I'm talking about the 20 over, we had a much better...
looks as if something's happened with Selman.
Yeah, Selman might have just injured her hand. I think when she stopped the ball earlier, she might have injured her hand. She's getting some attention now. Yeah, I think when the ball was struck back to her, she put her hand out, and in stopping it, she might have just injured her finger, or just might have touched the top of her finger or something. And I'm not seeing any blood, so it might just be a bit of a swelling. But
Yeah,
she's
she's
being
really
looked after, and it's a bit of an impromptu water break, Roland.
Yeah, the batsman taking the opportunity to get some fluid. Solomon is now okay. Now she's going back to the end of her mark, and I think cricket will continue. As you said, the field has decided to take that impromptu break for some water.
So let's give the West Indies team again for this Sandals series. Stafanie Taylor, of course, is the captain. Anisa Mohammed, Deandra Dottin, Afley Fletcher, Casey Knight, Shemaine Campbell, Marissa Aguilera, Shamila Connell, Hayley Matthews, Shakira Selman, and Shadeen Nation. We're going to have a resumption, but I'll give you the South Africans 11 in just a moment as well. Here comes Selman. She passes the umpire and bowls. This delivery is again on the line of the off stump and played there by Lise into the offside, and there is no run. So for the South Africans, we have Dane Van Niekerk, Isel Lee, Maziana Cap, Sunil Lise, Chloe Tyrone, Masabata Class, Mingnan Duprea, Laura Wolvart, Zintel Malley, Robin Searle, Sarah Smith, and Faye Tuncliffe. It's Shakira Selman now. Passes the umpire and bowls, and this delivery is a slow delivery. Wrapped on the pad is a stifled appeal, but now it says the umpire. I thought that was going down the leg side, and a good call there from umpire Blades.
And it looks as if the batsman probably got an edge on it as well, because immediately Selman aborted the appeal. Interested to start with, but very quickly changed her mind.
So there's a slip, there's a third man, there's a backward point in the sweeper, an extra cover in the mid-off, mid-on, a straightish mid-wicket, there's a short fine leg. Selman looks across, she's making a change again, she's made several changes, Shakira Selman, and this time she's going to bring Shadeen Nation there to the extra cover. And here she comes now and bowls to Lisa. Lisa's looking to cut, getting a lot of bounce there. A lot of bounce is Shakira Selman, and I recognize that Marissa Aguilera has taken a couple of steps up.
Yeah, and that delivery surprised the batsman and Aguilera, because previous to that, there was no indication that Selman would get the ball to come off the pitch like that. She'd been, I wouldn't say slow, but sort of medium pace.
Here she comes in again and bowls a slow delivery and very well bowled. I must say, Shakira Selman is a very crafty cricketer. I have known Shakira Selman from the time she was 8 years old from their work wins in St. George, and she loved cricket from the time she was a little girl at primary school. I think she was one of the first girls to play in the Herman Griffith tournament, because she just loved cricket from the time she was a toddler, you could say.
Yeah, and obviously the last few years, I mean, she's perhaps not fulfilled her potential because of the injuries, etc., and she spent far too much time out of the game. We just hope now that she can stay in the game and stay fit for a while.
So it's Connell to continue, and it bowls now to Wolvart, and Wolvart is getting a good delivery that squares her up, squaring the offside, and there is no run. 11 for 1. We're in over number 7 in this 50 over contest. Of course, we only have one T20 here. We've got 3 consecutive 50 overs, and then we've got a T20, and then the tournament moves on to Trinidad and Tobago for a series of T20s there to continue. We look forward to that series. As Connell back here in good sunshine now in Barbados, bowls, passes the umpire, and this delivery is short, and she's looking to cut again. I thought that was a bit wide, Roland.
Well, there's a put into a short fine leg position. Again, Barry, that's a bit of a defensive position.
Yeah, there's only one slip. Here comes Connell in again and bowls a good delivery that's driven beautifully. That's going to go towards the boundary, but there's a field out there. And she runs across quite gingerly, and there is no run. Well, there's one run, correction. Well done. That's Affley Fletcher.
Yeah, nice shot. Good piece of fielding. Fielder moved very swiftly.
Yeah, she
to her left.
She got across very, very quickly. So 12 for 1.
I mean, Barry, do you ever think you will see the day when a female bowls at 90 miles an hour?
I can't think of any now in the game that get up there. Perhaps when Pam comes on, she might tell me who are the quickest now on the world stage, but that would be quite something to see. This delivery is short and cut away over the head there of Dotting is going to go down to the boundary, and well stopped again by Affley Fletcher. That's Campbell. Campbell correction. Well stopped there by Shemaine Campbell. Diving to her left, pulling off what was a certain boundary.
Yeah, that was a superb piece of fielding. I think in any game, male or female, you'd be very pleased with that stop.
Oh no, that was spectacular.
She had to really get around the boundary there, maybe run 20, 30 meters and then dive full length to her left. Looked a certain 4, but terrific stop.
So Lisa's on strike. Again, this delivery is driven, squaring the offside, and there's no run. Just one ball left in the over. We've had 2 runs there from Lise. So Lise now she is on 3. Wolvart is on 5. It's 14 for 1. We've had the early wicket. Shamila Connell having Lee. So there's a Lease and there's a Lee. Lee was caught by dotting for a duck. South Africa trying to rebuild here as this delivery again is played into the offside and very well played. The South Africans look good. I must tell you, their technique is first class, but that's played square into the offside and there's a run to end the over, where the South Africa women in this Sandals International Series are 1-5 for 1 after 7 overs. We've got some 43 remaining. The West Indies women won the toss. I want to thank Roland Butcher. He's going to be back with us in an hour's time. And we're going to welcome Pam Levine in just a moment. But before you go, Roland, your thoughts on the first half an hour of the play here today?
I think it's been good. The West Indies have bowled pretty well. I think, as you said, the technique of the South African, these two South African batsmen looks very good, look very composed, very orthodox, which is good to see. So there's a bit of a contrast in that, you know, a team that perhaps is not as strong physically, but technique-wise, they look pretty good.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the technique of the South Africans, I must tell you. They look very correct. So that's Lease again playing it into the onside. And there's no run. So Roland Butcher, who of course is a former England and Barbados opening batsman. He's also director, of course, for women's cricket at the UWI. We'll talk a bit later about UWI's women's cricket when he comes back, as this delivery is driven out to the cover there, fielded by Nation there by young Lisa. And I welcome for the first time Pam Levine to the microphone. Hello to you, Pam.
Good morning, all.
Just going to sort of come forward a little bit. Of course, Pam Levine would have played 24 one-day internationals for the West Indies. She also had the opportunity to play 15 T20s. As Selman comes in now and bowls, this delivery is again undriven. Pam, as you look at this women's team, how does this women's team look to you? I mean, you would have left it a good couple of years now, but how has the women's team shaped up since you've left it?
I think it actually shaped up very well. I mean, over the years, except from about 2008, when Cricket West Indies, former West Indies Cricket Board took over. You know what I mean? We started playing, we went on overseas tours, we went to qualifiers, we qualified. And since then, we have been to World Cup semi-finals, we've been to finals, actually won a T20 World Cup. So you see that we have come a long way since that time.
Indeed, you have come a long way. Pam, I must tell you that you look much fitter now. You're not playing the way you played. You look in good condition. Are you still playing?
Yeah, I'm very much in good condition. These days, I'm playing in the second division cricket with the women team, Iris Walker Pioneers.
As this delivery is driven well into the onside, and that's the first boundary of the day. And umpire Blaze signals 4 runs now and to take the total to 19 for 1. We're being joined, you're hearing the voice of Pam Levine, the former West Indies and Barbados cricketer, all-rounder. And she's telling me about her days now, what she's doing these days at age 49, playing still women's cricket. Tell me about it.
Well, usually I'm still playing in the Women's League. You know, that is Iris Walker League, which we have every year, which is a part of 50 overs and T20s. And I must say that even though at my age I'm still playing very well, you know, each year I'm able to take some awards at the BCA Awards, so I'm still very much active in the game. And I look at playing for some time to come. I'm not ready yet to really retire from cricket altogether.
Yeah, well, I will be very disappointed if you do, because you are one of the first women to play this game, and I'll be disappointed if you do stop. You're only 49. You're young. What do you mean at this age? You're a young lady.
Yeah, still young. We still got it. You know what I mean? I can remember a few weeks ago I played against Central and I scored 6 and not out for my team. So, yeah, I'm still young. I'm still vibrant. I'm still willing to go.
Do you think, Pam, that you would still like to play again for the West Indies?
Well, that's a past tense. You know, usually I would have think that, but at my age, I don't think they're looking to select players at my age at 49 to play for the West Indies.
Right. Now, let's discuss this game here now. We've had Shakira Salmon and Connell. Are they the two best in terms of the opening pair for the West Indies women at this stage?
Yes, I would think so. There's a good bowling pair. They have opened for West Indies for a number of years now, and I think they are doing well. We just saw Shamil and her spell, and she bowled nice, good, tight lines and lengths, and she got the first wicket. Rising ball up to the off stump, cut up point by Deandra. Yeah, very well bowled, yeah.
And speaking of Deandra, she's going to be the first bowling change of the morning. So it's going to be Deandra Dottin now to come on, and she's going to be bowling to Lise. And the first delivery is bang on target, and also with a bit of pace too. How quick is Deandra Dottin?
Right now, I think that Deandra is the quickest of our bowling attack.
Really? So you think she's quicker than Connell?
I believe that. She get the ball to skid on. She is quick. She is accurate when she is bowling really well. And I believe that she have a lot of pace, and over the years she has improved a lot.
I'm going to ask you about the pace in just a moment, but here she comes in again. Deandra Dottin from the Joe Garner end. And bowls a short ball that the batsman's looking to pull, and the signal wide there by the umpire. Now, at her pace, she's bowling about 70, 75?
Yeah, I would say she bowling about around 70, 72. Getting there close to 75.
Yeah, she's really generated a lot of pace. She's one of the most exciting women's cricketers in the game. We all know of that dreadful injury she had a couple of years ago in Australia, which was career threatening, but she survived and she's back with a bang. Here she comes in again now and bowls another short ball. This time it's wide again, wide of the off stump, and taken there by the keeper. The umpire there signals one for the over in terms of the height. In these international teams, who's the best international team that the West Indies would have been playing against in terms of a high level of competition?
I would say Australia, England, New Zealand has been the best teams that the West Indies have played over the years, and they also have been competitive against these teams also.
Here comes Dottin in again and bowls to Lise, and Lise gets a good delivery on the line of the off stump and just plays it into the offside, and there's no run. How good is this South African team? Do you know a lot of these women?
I don't know a lot of these girls. There's a lot of new girls in the setup, but I also know that they still have Van Dukert there. There's also Dupree, who would have played sometime over the years. They are still in here, and there's some good, exciting new players within the South African lineup.
Short ball that's cut away. That's going to go down to the boundary through cover point. Will it get there? I don't think so. I think it's going to be pulled back just about now, and they'll get a couple of runs. That's Selman, is it? Was that Selman pulling it back? Is that Selman pulling it back? Or was that Campbell? Yeah, it was Selman.
Yeah.
So Selman pulling it back, but they still get a couple. So South Africa fought back a little here because they were in trouble at none for one, but it's now 23 without further loss in over number 9. And we've got Lise on 11, and Wolvart, she's on 5. 23 for 1. Lee went for duck as Dottin comes in again and passes the umpire and bowls a full length delivery. She's wrapped on the pad. There's a stifle appeal, but it was pitched way down leg, and I don't think the umpire will be taking that with any level of seriousness, and the total remains on 23 for 1. What kind of pitch is ideal, Pam, for a 50 over clash?
A really good pitch where the ball is coming on, and the bowlers is getting the most out of the wicket. So I would say that is a decent pitch where the ball is coming on. It gives something both for the batters and the bowlers, so you can have an even game.
Well, here she comes in again, Dottin, and bowls to Lise, and Lise is edging just to the left of the fielder there at first slip. That's Hayley Matthews, and Matthews couldn't get it wrong in time, and it's gone down to the boundary for 4, but a chance there. And I know that Dottin wouldn't be happy with that. Dottin is a very competitive kind of cricketer. She would have wanted that catch taken, but I think Matthews, it might have just gone a bit wide to Matthews, and she was unable to hold on.
Yes, I think.
Should she have taken that?
Well, it was kind of tight. The ball was flying, she tried to get there. It beat everybody, and it went to the boundary for 4. And usually Deandra is a girl. She would bowl full balls at you all the time. Sometimes she would bowl some short ones at you, but definitely she is a really good bowler.
So 4 runs to end the over. It takes the South African women now to 27 for 1. It's just 1 over left before we get to over number 10. We're in the 10th over. And I must say that was a very exciting over from Deandra Dottin. Have you played with all of these girls, or who do you have played with?
I have played with a lot of the girls, like Deandra, Salmon. I've played with Mohammed, Taylor.
Aguilera must be.
Yes, I've also played with Aguilera. Yeah, those are the players I played with. Salmon. And, I haven't played with Haley.
Right, yeah, she's
I
Haley.
would have played with Nation also, because she was a part of the West Indies team when I played, as well as Fletcher. So I have played with a number of the girls over the years.
So we're going to have another bowling change. It's going to be the spin. And of course, we're talking about the very exciting off spinner. Anissa Mohammed from Trinidad and Tobago. She's going to be coming on. She's the off spinner who's taken a ton of wickets for the West Indies women. Here she comes down, bowls to Lees, to Wolvart, correction. And Wolvart is just playing this one down to the short flying leg for a couple of runs. So Mohammed not on sound. Marissa Aguilera and Stafanie Taylor will be the two most experienced women in this team. They've definitely been playing for a very, very long time. And then you've had the exciting players like Matthews come on recently, who's in 2 to 3 years has really created a bit of a name for herself. In fact, Matthews is one of the few players who goes away to play in the Big Bash Women's League. We also have Stafanie Taylor, who plays in that league. Deandra also plays in that league. So I think about 3 women cricketers playing the Big Bash.
Yes, we have Haley, as you said, mentioned she did well, as well as Stephanie. I think Deandra also played too. And Haley, she is the #1 T20 all-rounder in the world.
That's right.
So her game has really improved since she came on the scene about 4 years ago. And she has kept her place in the West Indies team ever since that.
The thing about Haley Matthews is that she's improved quickly. She's been very rapid with her improvement, Haley Matthews. I saw her dad, Mike Matthews, downstairs watching. As Mohammed bowls, a delivery that's in the air. She didn't time it, just into the onside, and there's no run. Blaze signal, just 1 ball left in the over. No, is it 1 ball left or is it 2? I think it's 1. 29 for 1. Here she comes in again, Mohammed, and bowls a delivery that brings her forward, and it's placed straight to the offside, and there is no run. So we've got 29 for 1, just 1 ball left in over number 10. I think there might be a bit of a water break after that. As Mohammed in again, passes umpire Blades and bowls, and this delivery is again flighted well, but swept down to the fielder at the deep backward square leg boundary for just 1. And that's Shemaine Campbell, who's out there to end the over, where the South African women, being asked about first by the West Indies women, they are 30 for 1, 30 for 1, with Lees, she is on 15, and with her is Wolvart, who is on 8. Comments now from former Barbados and West Indies all-rounder Pam Levine. Pam, how much has women's cricket changed since you have played when you first made your debut way back when? How much has it changed since then?
It have changed a lot. Because when I played, we were not being paid. And now the girls are being paid match fees. They have retainer contracts. They are being sponsored. So everything is going well for the girls. The game is being televised a lot more now all over the world. So people can just turn on the televisions and see what is happening with women's cricket. And that's, for me, that is good, and that is a real great improvement in women's cricket. And we also now have female commentators, so that is an extra boost as far as women's cricket is concerned. We also have female umpires, which is great for the game too.
Yes, we do. And that delivery is down the leg side and turned nicely to the backward square boundary. That's the second boundary, and that's 4 more runs. Welcome runs there too, there for Wolvart, and that takes the total now to 34 for 1. What would be a good total here?
To beat West Indies on this pitch, I think South Africa have to score in the range just over 200 or so, because right now our girls are bowling really well. We have South Africa in a good position here where they are not scoring quickly. And if we could maintain what we have in here now, I think it can be even difficult to get 200.
Well, if they don't get 200, I think they would feel very much that they've underachieved.
I think so, because they lost their opener very early in the innings. And, we have Lees and Wolvert at the crease. They are taking their time to build the innings. And we would like to see them just find the gaps more often, rotate the strike a little bit more, and put the West Indies under the gun.
And the West Indies women, I think, batting to me is their strength. But you would know better than me. Is it batting or is it bowling? What is their strength in this team?
I would say that batting, and I would say that bowling also, because we have Stafanie Taylor, Haley Matthews, we have Kaisi and Knight, very good openers. So we have some good strengths. And we also have Shabine Campbell back in the lineup, and she is a very exciting player. No, expecting that Nation would come good today. She get an opportunity to bat.
Yeah, having seen this West Indies women's team played over the years, when they get it right batting-wise, they're explosive. But I've also seen some slumps, so that's something that they have to be mindful of. I like the idea of playing some 50-over cricket before the T20s to get them batting longer and get them getting some good warm-ups. As this delivery is on-driven nicely, that's going to go down towards the boundary and gets there too. A very nice shot there from Luz. And it's another boundary for her. She's beginning to open her shoulders and she's looking quite good. The total now from none for one has now jumped to 39 without further loss, and Luz has now gone to 19.
Yes, Barry, I just said before, when they are batting as a good unit, they look good together. But when they are not getting right, there's a concern where only the top players like Stafanie and DeAndre and Haley are scoring, but we need at least 7 players and decide to step up to the plate and come to the party when we're playing big games like these.
I'm quite excited about the upcoming Women's World Cup. Of course, in Ghana and St. Lucia, and then the final matches being played in Antigua. But there's a buzz about it, there's no doubt. Everyone is curious as to see what will happen in terms of how the women will come out and perform. So here comes dotted now and bowls to Luz. And Luz is getting the outside the line, the off stump taken there by the keeper. The field now is a very defensive one. The over has ended. We'll get back to that after the over. It's going to be Aguilera to continue. What kind of field would you have for Aguilera? Because she tends to tease the batters all the time. Sorry, correction, not Aguilera, Anisa Mohammed.
Yeah, she tends to tease the team. She bowl really slow. So the batters really have to wait on her deliveries. But, just putting the slip for her at this time. She bowling deep mid wicket. Probably put a sweeper on the boundary. But I don't think there's a need for that because the girls are not really getting rid of the ball. So, yeah, basically, but she doesn't have a slip. Maybe the wicket is not turning as much.
Yeah, she doesn't have a slip, which I find amazing for an off spinner. She tends to be a bit leg side-ish. Perhaps that's the reason. But we wait to see. So it's Wolvart on strike as Mohammed bowls and is played square into the offside. There's no run.
Maybe there's no need for a slip because she bowls so slow, And if the pitch is not turning a lot, perhaps there's no need to have a slip.
Here she comes in again and bowls, and this time Wolvart is on driving. Very textbook style out to the long on region, and there's one run.
I can remember once when she was the number one, bowler in the world, so.
Yes, she somehow lost that claim to fame, but she would want to get back there, Anisa Mohammed. She's been playing for quite a long time. Here she comes in again and bowls a full delivery. And
she still bowls really well, and she is still rated very highly on the world stage. So, you got to give it up to her for what she have done before and is still doing now.
Yeah, she's also a bit of a commentator. She does some work for CNC3 in Trinidad when she's at home. Here she comes in again and bowls a delivery that's beaten the batter.
And this has played for a long time, because I can remember in 2005 she was a member of the World Cup squad, and she was just 14 years. So from 14 to now, she has come a long way, and she has improved over the years, not only as a bowler, but her batting as well have improved because she have played some vital innings for the West Indies over the years.
Yeah, she has. She has indeed. I've admired her from the time I've watched her playing for Trinidad and Tobago. Here she comes in again now and bowls, and this delivery is short, and punched out to the backward point region, and there is no run. So the over has ended. This is a very good fight back from the South African women. They were none for one, losing that early wicket in the very first over. And then we've seen some very attractive batting from the South Africans in this Sandals series. And they've moved on now to 4-0 for the same one. We've got Wolvart, she's there lending some support. She's on 14, and with her is Lise, who is on 19. But these two women have come together and put on a 40-run partnership that has certainly made the West Indies women think just a little bit. We've had a very good very good conditions here at Kensington Oval. The pitch is good, the outfield is fantastic, and even though we've had some bad weather which prompted a half an hour late start, it has been pretty good since we've had that early morning shower. Lots of rain was in Barbados overnight. I was even fearing that we might not have any cricket, but once there's no rain, Kensington Oval will be in good condition. So it's going to be dotting to continue, and that delivery is played into the onside and just undriven straight to Casey Knight. Casey Knight there at that mid-wicket position, and there is no run. The field now is well spread as Dottin again comes in and bowls, and this delivery is short and cut straight to the fielder, and there is no run. I get confused sometimes with the Knight sisters. We're going to have Kaishan Knight come in a bit later, but she is indeed one of the exciting players who's unfortunately suffered a bit of an injury. She'll tell us about that when she comes on. So here comes Dottin in again and bowls. This delivers outside the line of the off stump, and there goes the batter in Wolvart driving, and it's taken outside the line of the off stump. T20 World Cup is coming up. Who's going to be the big bugbear for the West Indies women?
I think that Australia going to be a really big team for the West Indies to come up against this year, as well as England and New Zealand. So I'm hoping that the West Indies have all their thoughts together going into this World Cup. They are defending champions, and they will want to win again. And they would really have to play as a team, as a unit, and go out there, put all the game plans in place. And in the end, if they have all of that together, I believe that they can retain the World Cup.
Yes. I mean, it will be something special for them to retain that World Cup in the West Indies. This is the first ever women's World Cup that's a standalone, as this delivery is a full toss that's driven straight to the fielder there. And that's Shemaine Campbell, who's on the cover boundary, and there's just one. This Women's World Cup is usually played alongside the men's. And in 2010, when the World Cup was held here, the T20 World Cup, it was played alongside the men's as well. But this is the first time that it's ever been a standalone. So this is quite a historic occasion for West Indies cricket in the West Indies.
Yes, it is, and I think is a good idea to have it playing alone. Also, where the women are playing the games themselves alone. Still have to be like doing double headers or something like that against the men.
So it gives women's cricket a bit more profile.
That's right. All the attention we place on the women, and then I believe that the girls will feel a lot more comfortable that the world is watching them alone. So I feel it's good for women's cricket.
Yes, that's going to be coming up in November 9th to 22nd. A lot of cricket to be played in the West Indies. We have coming up the Super Cup, the 50-over series. That's the men's cricket I'm talking about now, and that's going to happen here and in Trinidad. One round here and one round in Trinidad. That starts on October the 3rd. So we look forward to that as well. So here comes Mohammed now and bowls, and this delivery brings Lise forward. She's beaten and taken there by the keeper, Marissa Aguilera. Has anyone else kept wicket for the West Indies women in the last decade? She's the only name that we seem to be calling.
Aguilera has been around for a long time. I think that she is the only one that has been wicket keeping for some time now.
Who are the other contenders? If there was an injury, an unfortunate injury to Aguilera, who would have to take up the slack?
If there were injury right now, we have Kaisi Knight, who is an exciting wicketkeeper as well as Shemaine Campbell. I know a lot of people never really heard about Shemaine wicketkeeping, but she is a girl that can really wicket keep well. She have quick hands. She is very efficient and effective. So there you have Kaisi also, another keeper who is really effective, and she is really good with the gloves on her hand behind the stump. So if anything goes wrong with Aguilera, you can call on any of those two girls to wicket keep for the West Indies.
Well, it's pretty interesting you say that, because Aguilera has held the gloves for a very long time. I'm not trying to force into retirement at all, but you still have to have a succession plan. So perhaps they might have the chance when she departs.
That's right. I mean, Aguilera have done extremely well behind the stumps. You can't take that away from her. She has also improved her batting, and that is good for her game too. Because you can remember, like some time ago, they were saying that she should have been dropped and all these things, and then she come back with a good series against South Africa. You know what I mean? So she did well up to then, and she was able to regain her place in the team, and I think that's good for her. I would like to see her continue for a long time too, because I think she's a fantastic individual.
Yeah, Marissa Aguilera is a beautiful human being. There's no question about that. I think she's worked hard on her game in the last year or two, because when you're in a team for a long time and you sense that there might be no competition, you can get a little complacent. But I think in the last couple of years, she's recognized that, look, I've been here over a decade, and I now have to really, step up or step out. And she stepped up rather than stepped out. And that has gone really good for Marissa Aguilera. I remember at the 2016 World Cup, in the final, she didn't score a lot of runs, but her presence to help Matthews was very important. And she certainly was one who was able to help them get across the line when they defeated the Australians in a final that we're going to talk about for years to come.
Yeah, she is a very good individual, I see her as a mentor, Usually when I was in the team, she would talk to me. I can remember in the 2009 T20 in England, she was the captain at that stage, and we was playing South Africa. And, she said, Pam, we need to win this game. We just had 7 runs in the last over, and she gave the ball to me. She said, Pam, I know you can do it. And we won that game, and everybody was excited.
Yes, indeed. So it's Affley Fletcher. She's going to come on now. Of course, Affley Fletcher, the Grenadian. This delivery is short and cut away. Just 1 run. How good a bowler is Affley Fletcher? Tell me about what kind of bowler she is.
She's a decent bowler. You can't take that away from her. As I said, when I was in the West Indies setup, she was there also. She can also bat a bit. And over the years, I think that in the regional tournament, she has proven to the selectors that she have what it takes to be a good bowler. And that has brought her back in the West Indies team after being out for some time. So, it's good to see Affy back. She's a very decent bowler. And I would like to see her continue to play for some time to come.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with her, because I think her attitude is one of the main things that has impressed me. And when I look at how she's come on leaps and bounds, she's improved a lot. She's only... she's age 31, I think, yeah. She's age 31 from the Spice Island, Grenada. She's played some 40 ODIs, averages 8, but she's there mainly for bowling, where she's taken 44 wickets. 44 wickets. Best bowling innings of 4 for 22. Averages 21.43 per innings. Per wicket, correction. And she's been a relatively good bowler. Economy rate of 3.77, that's not too bad. She comes in again and bowls with her leggies, and this delivery is struck nicely up to the extra cover boundary there by Campbell again. Campbell seems to be doing a lot of work. She's a very exciting cricketer as well. Shemaine Campbell, tell me about her.
Shemaine Campbell, as you said, is a very exciting cricketer. Over the years, she has played for Guyana. She has played for the West Indies. She has been in and out with the team. This year, she performed exceptionally well in the regional tournament, and that gave her an opportunity again to be selected for the West Indies for this series. So it is good to have her back.
Aflin Fletcher. She's got 20 T20s as well. And bowls a full toss that's missed. The batter was trying to swing across the line, but I think she might have misjudged that and is taken there by the keeper. We're going to have the first water break. It looks like to me. Or are they just, yes, we can have the first water break. So we've had some 15 overs gone. South Africa women are 47 for 1. 47 for 1 with Lees, she is there on 22, and Wolvart is there on 18. You're listening to and watching the stream here, of course, compliments of Cricket West Indies of the Sandals International Series between the West Indies women and the South African women. We've got 3 50-over matches, and those 50-over matches will be followed by a T20 series. There's only one T20 in Barbados, but then there will be the continuation of that series in Trinidad and Tobago. Pam Levine, the former West Indies...
The ICC Women's World 2020 is coming to Guyana November 9th through the 17th. Tickets start at $500 Corporate packages are also available. Get yours at icc-cricket.com/world2020.
We think that the 50-over format is the better format. They have done well in the 50-over format as well as the T20. So I would say for right now that the 50-over format is the format that they would prefer to play the most, although they are world champions in the T20 format.
Yeah, I think that there's been more success for the West Indies women at that T20 format, but it comes down to playing more cricket. And I know that as women's cricket begins to expand, that they'll improve. I look back at that series that they recently concluded with New Zealand, and I almost shed a tear. The first game, they lost by a run. And I think they lost 2 games in that entire series by a run, yes, which was very ironic. But they just seemed to, they couldn't seem to pick back up the confidence after that first game that was heart-wrenching to go on in that entire series.
Yeah, it was a difficult series, you know, to have played well, lost by 1 run, and we all know what happened in the other games. You know, hear some of the girls saying, you know, the conditions were unfavorable, you know, it was cold. You know, so they never really competed as well as we would have expected them to.
All right, so we're going to have that water break. I'm going to give Pam a bit of a break herself, and I'm going to let Kai-Shawn Knight come in. Of course, her sister is indeed playing. Pam, you'll be back with us in another hour.
Yes, please.
So don't go too far. You've done a fantastic job, Pam. I think we need to recommend you for when the Women's World Cup comes around.
Thank you, Barry.
There's not many more experienced women's cricketers in Barbados than Pam Levine, I can tell you that, who's a cousin of Gordon Greenidge, correct?
That's true.
Yeah. And your brother, who unfortunately is deceased, Mark Levine, he would have been such a special T20 cricketer.
Yeah, I understand that he was a real brilliant guy. You know, he was really fit.
Oh, he was very fit.
He can play really well. He bowled. He was the perfect all-rounder that you could think about.
Yes, the great Mark Levine. We play for Spartan, I believe. All right, well, Pam, you can just get it for the meantime, and you'll be back with us in an hour's time. So Kai-Shawn Knight is going to come in. She's going to tell us some secrets as well about her sister, who is playing, and why she's injured at this time. How could she get such an injury at such a special time? The water card has gone off, and it's going to be Anisa Muhammad to continue. Be careful. Your foot is indeed still in. Is that a cast?
No, it isn't.
It's a brace, I think it is.
Yes, it is.
So, Kai-Shawn Knight is here with us. Kai-Shawn, welcome to the microphones.
Hi, good morning, everyone.
Now, I look at your foot. Your left foot has on a big brace. How did you get that injury?
Well, I got it before we actually went to New Zealand earlier this year.
Mm-hmm.
We were just running around warming up for practice before we leave to go to New Zealand, and I just was running and it stopped, and I just felt this pain in my knee. But at first we thought it was just a little strain. So I spoke to the physio, and she said, well, it just seemed to be a strain. So I was okay to go on the tour still.
Mm-hmm.
But as we got into our work in New Zealand, things weren't feeling
Too right.
Too right.
Yeah.
But I still strapped up and I went out there and gave of my best. So as I got back to Barbados, I think we were over there for about a month. We got back and we saw the doctor had to get an MRI done, and it showed that I had a severe tear of my ACL ligament.
Oh my goodness. I don't know what that is, but it sounds serious. Well, I'm glad though that you're still on your feet. How soon you reckon you'll be back out there playing with your sister again?
Probably after 6 months.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a little time off. I guess in that time I will try to get back as fit as possible as I was before, and try to get back on the field with the girls as soon as possible.
So you're hearing the voice of Kaishon Knight, whose sister is indeed playing, Kasia. But Kaishon herself is also a very, very good cricketer. She's, of course, plays for the West Indies, and naturally she's played for Barbados. We're going to ask her a little bit about her sister Kasia in just a moment, but it's going to be Anissa Mohammed to continue. 51 for 1, the 50 is up. This delivery is played just square into the offside there by young Wolvart, Laura Wolvart, who's been out there for quite some time. She's on 18 from 43 balls. Lise is there on 25 from 47. And these two have really batted very, very well, because it was none for one, and they've taken this total out of 51 without further losses. Mohammed comes in again and bowls a full delivery that is driven in the air and dropped. That was a very, very good effort there. Who's the fielder? Shakira Selman. Shakira Selman diving to her left at short mid-on and putting down what would have been the second wicket for the West Indies women. A good effort, but put down, and to rub salt into the wounds, the women actually took a single. So the over has ended, and it's 52 for 1 now. But talk me through what happened there. Should she have taken that?
It looked like she should have. Maybe she had a little more time than she thought. She could have taken a step and then actually get a little closer to the ball. But I guess that chance is gone. We have to try and build another chance now. South Africans are looking to rebuild after that early loss of a wicket. And I think they're doing pretty okay right now.
Yeah, they are. Have you ever played against South Africa?
Yes.
At 50 over?
2016 before, yes, I think we had a tour in 2016 before we went to the World Cup.
Correct. You did. So you would have played both 50 over and T20. All right. They're a good team, South Africa. For what I've seen so far, they seem to be very competitive, which is certainly something that you want to see in women's cricket. This delivery is short outside the line. The off step by Fletcher and looking to cut. There's Lise, misses and taken there by the keeper.
Yes, indeed. They are after last year's World Cup where we didn't have such a good time. They were one of the teams which put us under a bit of pressure in England. And for the 2 times we played them, one was in a warm-up game, and then in the official game, I think they bowled us out for under 100. So I think they're expecting to come today and put a good showing again against us.
You're hearing the voice of Kaishona Knight as this delivery is again placed square into the offside. There's no run. Her twin sisters out there playing. Kasia, how close are you?
We're very, very close.
Literally?
Yeah. She actually came home early from camp to be with me for my surgery.
That's a lovely sister, but you're a twin, so you would expect that level of camaraderie. As this delivery is punched again out into the covers for one more run. You've played 30 ODIs, average 23. You've played 32 T20s. I'm going to compare your record with your sister's record to see how close you are in terms of...
Not close.
Not close at all. I suspect she has the edge on you.
No.
So you're better than her?
Well, I guess she's better at what she does. She opens. I'm more back down in the team. I guess we have different roles.
Yeah, she's played much more cricket than you, but you have a better average, which is interesting. How did you know that you were going to be a cricketer for the West Indies team? When did it actually begin to show in your game that you look, I'm going to play this game, I'm going to play it at the highest level?
Well, I started playing cricket in primary school. I had a love for, I think, all sports. I played almost everything. I did track and field for Barbados, football for Barbados, cricket for Barbados. But I stopped after a while because the cricket wasn't getting that far. So I was looking for a scholarship in football. So I started to play football. Then I don't think you know, but I actually had ACL tear on my right leg already.
So you've had a tear on your left leg, which is one you have now. You've also had one on your right.
Yeah, so that was from football. And then it was after that, then I was actually on my way to go for a scholarship. And then I got the injury. So then that set me back. And then it was actually Shakira Selman and Pat Greenwich that said, why don't you come back and play cricket, because you're good at it. So I think we were in Queen's Park, they were playing the game. So I said, okay, we'll give it a try. And then after that, I think this is when the game started to evolve for the ladies.
Right.
And then I just started to get serious about it. I spoke to my sister. She actually made the team before me.
Yes.
I just started to get serious about the game.
That's a fantastic story, because you've had a bite at both cherries in terms of football and cricket. I think cricket was the good choice from a financial perspective, because women's cricketers are now actually under contract, and they also have the opportunity to play overseas, their professional leagues. So the football scholarship might have gotten you perhaps further with your educational overall perspective, but the cricket, I think makes better dollars and cents.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Indeed. Actually, I still furthering my education and finished my associate degree at BCC this year.
What are you studying?
Sports science and physical education.
That's fantastic. I really wish you all the best of that. I think your football knowledge, your cricket knowledge, and now academics, I think will serve you very well.
Yes, I'm starting a diploma in sports massage therapy.
Wow, perhaps you might want to help Anissa Mohammed, who's tossing and turning, but the fielding is not backing her up. That's another loose fielding there from Shakira Selman, who dropped a catch in the last over, and now she's allowed a single to take the total on now to 58 for 1. The West Indies women winning the toss in the Sandals series and allowing South Africa to bat first. They were none for one, mind you. You have to note that they lost the wicket after 3 balls, but then they've rebounded beautifully with Wolvart on 21 now, and Lise, she is on 29. Still got Vandy Kirk to come. She's an exciting cricketer, and you're hearing the voice of Kashana Knight, whose sister's out there playing. Kashana, of course, is also a West Indies women's cricketer who's unfortunately injured, and that's why she's not in the setup at the moment, but she's still a pretty much experienced cricketer. Age 26. Yes, she's age 26. How old is her twin sister? Can anyone tell me? Sister did from Affley Fletcher's short, and she's looking to cut, taken there by the keeper, and there is no run. We also have the Quinton sisters. Are they playing as well?
Unfortunately, I think Siobhan is out injured. I think she had similar operation to me, but I think it was her PCL that was doing. So she's out for a while. I think she's been a year and some now. I think some stuff has gone wrong with her, so I think she's still trying to sort out herself.
Right.
So I don't think we will be seeing her
soon.
Okay.
This delivery is swept out to the mid-wicket area. We've got the Women's World Cup coming up. Do you think that the West Indies women will defend their crown well?
I think we have a good chance. I think the ladies have put in some excellent work thus far. Just hoping that we can go there and execute like we did in 2016 again.
Here comes Fletcher in again and bowls, and this delivery is struck straight back to the bowler, who's doing some very good fielding. How good is Affley Fletcher as a leg spinner?
She's really good. I've seen her grown in the years. I think once she starts to get into her work and gets the ball in good areas, she's very effective with her leg work.
And that's another single out there to Campbell, who's at the extra cover boundary for 1. So 61 now for 1, and that means that Lise is on 30. And Wolvart is on 23. They've both faced 54 balls now, which is quite ironic. So Wolvart 23 and Lise on 30. This delivery is wide and short, signal wide now by the umpire, and that will take the total on now to 62 for 1. What's a good total here in this 50 over clash?
Well, they're not scoring as quickly as I think they would like to, but if they can get around 200, a little more than 200, I think we're set up for a pretty good competitive game here.
So the over has ended, and it's 62 for 1. Wolvart 23. Lease has 30. And the batter gone is Lee. She went for duck, caught by Selman off of Connell. Do women's cricketers like to be referred to as batters, batsmen? What do you like to be called?
I don't think much of the girls really bothers the girls much.
Okay.
I guess so many people are accustomed to saying batsmen
Yeah.
that it just comes out naturally. So I don't think we take it offensive that you say batsman.
Yeah.
So we just take it as part of the game and just try to enjoy it as much as possible.
That's going to be a boundary out to the deep mid-wicket area. It was well flighted from Anisa Mohammed, but coming on the front foot was the very exciting Laura Wolvart, who struck it on the full, got it in the gap, and it was 4 runs. So she now moves on to 27. It's now 66 to 1, and this is a very good response from South Africa women, who lost the wicket after the 3rd ball. As Mohammed comes in again now and bowls to Wolvart, who gets a short delivery this time and is punching it beautifully, but straight to the fielder. That's Kaisia Knight. You know that lady very well.
I think so.
Which part of Barbados are you guys from?
St. Philip.
St. Philip. Bayfield?
Rock Hall, Jemswick.
Jemswick, okay.
Yeah.
That used to be called Penny Hole.
Penny Hole, yeah.
This delivery is short and played down to the backward point area. It's going to go down to the boundary. Will Dottin stop it? Yes, she does. She pulls it back very well. Kaisia Knight did the correct thing by pairing with Dottin, because in a situation like that, you would have just left Dottin to go and pick up the ball, but she recognized that she was perhaps going to have to slide, and she was going to need some assistance. So good teamwork there by Knight and Dottin, stopping 2 runs, and it takes the total now to 68 for 1, but it pushes Wolvart now to 29. Lisa's on 30, as again Mohammed comes in and bowls a full delivery that's driven straight to Connell, who's diving at the cover region. We've had a drop catch, but I have to say so far, Kaishana, that the fielding has been very good.
Yes, I heard my sister say, Roddy, we're putting them through some very, very exciting feeling for the time they were
It's
here.
Roddy Eswick.
Yes, please.
This delivery is short and again punch, but straight to the fielder that the cover area. There's
I
one
think
run.
he may be a little disappointed in the drop catch, but otherwise, I think the girls are looking pretty good. South Africa seem to be looking to push on a little here, trying to find the gaps and put away some bad balls.
Yeah, and they have been doing that well. I've been very impressed with the cricket all told, as this delivery again is undriven, turned into the onside, and there is just 1 run. 69 now for 1. Both batters have 30 apiece. Wolvart 30 from 58. Well, correction, Lisa has 31 actually. Lisa has 31 from 56. But this has been a very good response as the over has ended. And at this stage, would you continue with Fletcher? Would you perhaps bring back Connell to see if she can pick up a wicket and break this very stubborn partnership?
Well, I think they're getting accustomed to the spin now.
Yes, they are.
So we probably need to try something either from Anissa's end or Afi's end. Probably Dottin again or Connell with some pace. See if we can pick up another wicket.
Who are the other options you have out there for bowling?
Well, you have the skipper, Stafanie Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
Haley Matthews haven't bowled
Oh,
as
yes,
yet.
that's right.
I think they're
But
Shadeen
that's
bowls a
to
little.
spin.
Yeah, Shadeen bowls a little medium pace.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the only other option.
So you only have Shady Nation really to bowl medium pace.
Yes.
And then you have the other 2 spinners in the captain and Haley.
The only other option we have is Kiana, but she isn't playing today. Left arm seamer from St. Lucia.
Mm-hmm. There's a 16-year-old that went to the Women's World Cup last year from St. Lucia.
Kiana.
Yeah, she's in the squad.
Yeah, she isn't playing today.
The 3 matches, she might get a turn sometime. We'll see. The next match is on Wednesday. If you're watching and listening and you want to come and watch some women's cricket, the next game is going to be on Wednesday. Same venue. I think that game also starts at 9:30. Check the time again. As Fletcher comes in now and bowls, and this time Lisa's cutting it again out to the cover area for another single. And that means now the total is on 73. 73 for one. Wolvart and Lisa have really batted well. I must give them full credit for fighting so hard. They've got 32 runs apiece. As Fletcher bowls again, and this time is swept in the air. Is this a chance for a catch? No, it's going to fall short. And it means that they're going to get another single. The ball going out there to Shakira Selman, who is in the deep mid-wicket area, and there is just one. Who's the 12th lady? Is that Natasha McLean?
Probably Natasha McLean.
Mm-hmm.
Very exciting opener. Loves to hit the ball.
Which island is she from?
Jamaica.
Jamaica. This delivery brings the batter forward, and she's driving and missing. Taken there by the keeper, and there's no run. So we've got a potpourri of cricketers. We're going to go through them and talk about which islands they're from in a moment. Who better to do that with me than Kishana, who knows these cricketers quite well, playing there for the West Indies. This delivery is again driven straight to the backward point area, and there's still no run. The over ends. It's now 75 for one. So let's start from the top. We've got the captain, Stafanie Taylor. She's from
Jamaica.
Right. Anisa Mohammed.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Deandra Dottin.
Barbados.
Afli Fletcher.
Grenada.
Kaisia Knight.
Barbados.
She's not playing, but Kiana Joseph.
She's from St. Lucia.
Yes. Shemaine Campbell.
Guyana.
Marissa Aguilera.
Trinidad and Tobago.
Natasha McLean, who's not playing.
Jamaica.
Shamilia Connell.
Barbados.
Haley Matthews.
Barbados.
Shakira Selman.
Barbados.
And Shadeen Nation.
Jamaica.
Good. So we've got a fantastic potpourri. We want to see some Antiguans in there. Are there any Antiguans that are close to making the team?
There was a young lady, Seamer. Can't recall her name right now.
Mm-hmm.
But she was already in one of the setups, camps. Still has some work to do. She's still pretty young. So maybe in the future we will see someone from Antigua and probably St. Kitts and Nevis.
Yeah, from the Leeward ends. No one from the Leewards in this setup, and we certainly would like to see that.
We had some from Nero from St. Vincent.
Yeah, there was Nero. Yeah, she was.
Cardell Jack. Those were in Pam's time.
Mm-hmm.
Those were always also in the setup back then. But since they have left, we haven't had anyone from the Leewards in the team.
So we're going to have a bowling change now. It's going to be the off spin of Haley Matthews, and she's going to be bowling to young Sune Lees. Lees is on 33. Both batters are on 33, as a matter of fact. And Haley Matthews, of course, an exciting off-spinning all-rounder. She's not a batting all-rounder. That one was a straight-up delivery. She is a good cricketer, Haley Matthews. She's been playing cricket for the time she was a toddler as well. No surprise, really. Her dad is also a very good cricketer. As she comes in again now and bowls, this will be swept in the air down to a vacant backward square position. She'll get one. So one run, and that would take the total now on to 76. 76. We're going to look at the career of Haley Matthews in just a moment. She's, like I said, someone who I think has done herself very, very good.
One of my very good sources just told me her name was Shanisha Hector. She's from Antigua.
Oh, Shanisha Hector.
Yes.
So Haley Matthews, of course, is only aged 20. Turned 20 this year as well. She's a baby.
Very young.
But she's played 36 ODIs, averages 24. 4 half centuries, and for bowling, she's taken 35 wickets with her bowling. She comes in again on bowls, and this one is hit in the air just to the right of Shamilia Connell, who's diving. But a very good effort there, Kaishana, and that should have been a catch, but you can't really fault her. It was a very good effort there, and allowing 2 more runs.
Yeah, moving to her right. I think she was a bit late getting off, I still think the effort at the end was pretty good to try and get there to the ball.
Yeah, that was a good effort. You couldn't falter at all there for the effort. The over has ended, and my goodness me, this partnership has really grown from none for one to 79 now without further loss. Is very, very good. 36 to Lease, and Wolvart has 34. How can the West Indies women get a wicket? If you were out there, what would you go and tell the captain if she perhaps had asked for your advice?
Well, I would ask for a bowling change if you can get someone else into the attack. Try something new, because we really need a wicket here right now. Just try to get the team stay positive and stay patient.
Yeah, because it's important to keep that momentum up, keep that spirit up, because it can drop. And we don't want to see that. But you've said it correctly. We're going to see a bowling change now. So after Fletcher's going to come off, Fletcher has bowled 4 overs, no maidens, none for 16. And Deandra Dottin is going to come back on. She's bowled 3 overs, no maidens, none for 18. This delivery is short and punched away out into the extra cover area. And there is just 1 run. So Deandra Dottin, of course, is also a very exciting cricketer. She's got centuries at both levels. I think in T20 she at one stage had the record for the fastest. She's only aged 27, but she's been playing for a long time, Deandra Dottin. She's got a birthday coming up. Oh, I'm sorry, her birthday's gone. It's last month. And she's now aged 27. She's played 111 matches. Highest score of 104. She's taken 54 wickets. So she's got centuries in both ODIs and T20s, and that's something very special.
Very. Deandra is something very, very special. Very talented young lady.
She also represented Barbados at Carifta. Track and field. More field than track, I think, though.
Yeah, javelin and discus and shot put.
Yeah. So she's someone who has been a great athlete for this island. No slip. There's a very wide third man. Backward point. Sweeper. Extra cover in mid-off. Mid-on. Mid-wicket. Backward square in the boundary and a flying leg. As Dottin comes in again and bowls. A day that's short. Outside the line of the off stump. Looking to cut is Lease. And the umpire is signalling a wide. Was that wide? Did you think that was a wide?
I don't think that was a wide. Look, just inside the line. Umpire has called away, so
yes,
she
we
has
have
to
to
bowl
accept
it
that.
over.
We want to welcome Charlene Tate as well, who's with us. We'll speak to her a bit later on. As Dottin comes in again and bowls a short ball that's pulled, but there's a fielder there, and she only get 1 more run. So now 82, is it? 82 for 1. Beast is on 37. Wolvart is on 35. It's been a very good response here after they were none for 1. We're here in a 100-run partnership. Here she comes in again and bowls a delivery that's turned into the onside in the air, straight to Haley Matthews, and there is no run. So 82 for 1. Got Eugenia Gregg, who's the manager of this team. Where's Eugenia from?
St. Lucia also.
She's from St. Lucia. And it's in Spring, of course, is the coach. He's from Barbados. Here she comes in again and bowls a delivery that's outside the line, the off stump, looking to drive, missed, and they're taken by the keeper to end the over. It's South Africa women 82 for 1. 82 for 1 with Wolvart. She is on a 35, and Lease is on 37. We're going to have a bit of a change in commentary. I'm going to give Kashana a break, and we're going to welcome back Pam Levine, and Roland Butcher when he comes back is also going to do some commentary. Thank you, Kashana. Don't go too far.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no, you'll be on in the next innings for sure. We definitely look forward to you coming back. You've done a great job, and we look forward to hearing you a bit later on. So Pam Levine is going to come back. She's had an hour to reflect and to talk to Charlene Taylor, who we're going to hear from later on. But I'm surrounded by some very talented individuals. This delivery is again driven out into the cover, and there's no run. Actually, there's one run, correction. 83 for 1. And Pam is going to come on to see if she can take a wicket, because when she was on earlier, the wicket wasn't falling, and now let's see if she can help me take a wicket, because the West Indies women certainly need one, Pam Levine. Here comes Hayley Matthewson again in bowls. This delivery is played straight to the outside, and there's no run. There's no run. Straight to DeAndre Dottin. Pam, I remember way back when you almost made your debut in Division 1 cricket in Barbados, as it was called back then. You would have been the first woman to play a Division 1 match. You remember that for Empire?
Yes, please.
It was unfortunate that didn't happen.
Right. It didn't happen because of circumstances. People thought that a woman should not play with men, and then for other personal reasons, there was a lot of talk around the country, that women should not be playing men's cricket. And ever since then, there were 2 female players that played for clubs in Barbados, and there was no talk whatsoever about those.
Who were the women?
2 women playing. We had Hayley Matthews.
Yes.
We also had Shaquana Quentin. Shaquana did good for YMPC, and I think that Hayley, she did good for, I think, Pickwick. And there was no talk, so I wonder why, that I was given talk for the possibility of playing, and those other 2, there was no talk.
What year was that you didn't get the opportunity?
That was 2005. After I came back from the World Cup.
And you would have been about
35.
35. Yeah, 35. So times have changed. I think we've evolved a lot where women's cricket is concerned. As this delivery is short, set down the off stump, and there's no run. The over has ended 86 for 1 with Lease on 40 and Wolvart on 36. I asked Kaishona this question. I'm going to ask you. If you were out there, what advice would you give now to the captain about perhaps making something happen to get a wicket?
I would probably say to her that you have to look at your bowling options. Obviously, you can still think about bringing back the strike bowlers. You have DeAndre back. I would think about bringing back Shamila, because she got the first wicket and she was bowling with pace. She was the bowler that created the most opportunity to me, so I will bring back my strike bowler.
Well, that's going to be a wide from Dottin. We were talking about the options. There are not a lot of fast bowlers in this team, not a lot of medium pacers. This team has mainly a diet of spin, because the captain hasn't bowled yet, and she's like to come on.
Yes, I think you could also try Shemaine Campbell. She is an excellent leg break bowler. Haley just come on. Stafanie is another option. She can bring herself. She can actually try something. We have Shade Nation, who is a medium pacer. We have not seen her introduced to the attack as yet. We would like to see her. Maybe something can happen if she come and bowl at some point. But South Africa is batting really well. The partnership has evolved. They're looking good. They're looking solid. They're starting to open up, and that's good for South Africa.
Yeah, 87-run partnership. You didn't expect that after that third wicket after the third ball. You really didn't expect that. So Lisa's on 40, and Wolvart is on now 36.
Yes, as you said, Barry, I played against Lise and Wolford on Thursday in a practice game. And Lee was out in the first over, and these 2 digging deep and put together a really good partnership.
So you're telling me that the same thing that happened in the practice game is happening here?
Yes. They lost the first wicket early, and then these 2 put on a really big partnership, and more or less took the game from us. They ended up scoring 222.
Well, that's very, very ironic. Very, very ironic. Well, I'm going to leave you for the meantime. Roland Butcher is going to take you on for the next half an hour. I know you'll enjoy Roland's company. I'll just do this last delivery, as it's going to be dotting to bowl a full delivery, played down to the short third man for one more run, and that's taking the total now to 89 for 1. Roland, I don't know, you have to do your best to get a wicket, because we took a wicket after the third ball, but we just haven't seen the West Indies women being able to pick it one since then.
Yeah, well, Barry, both of these young ladies are batting exceptionally well, showing very good technique and lots of patience. So at the moment, things are going nicely. South Africa look very much in control of the game. That should be called a wide. We'll wait and see. Unless they've got something on the pad. There's no signal there at all, so
Maybe it was a leg bite.
well, he didn't even signal back, so maybe
Something
it was a
happened.
run. But it looked a fairly wayward, slow delivery, but fairly wayward delivery. Yep, swing and a miss. But so far, Pam, these two batsmen have looked very easy at the crease. I think both of them very orthodox type of players. Play the ball in the V. The only time they really seem to go across the line of the balls against the spinners when they're aiming the sweep shot. But I think generally they've looked pretty good.
Yes, as I said, Barry, a month ago, we played with South Africa in a practice game on Thursday, and after Lee was out, Wolford and Loss, they were at the crease and they battled extremely well. They built a big partnership, and it's just in the middle overs that they started to open up, just as they're doing now. So I think that South Africa should go on to score a decent total that they could defend when they go to bowl later on. And we have players like Dupree and Van Newkirk still to come, and we haven't seen the best of South Africa as yet.
Yeah, you did say to me earlier that you thought they were pretty impressive with the bat, and that's proving to be the case. Said both of these players now look pretty set after that early loss.
Yes, they have battled well so far. They have built a really decent partnership of 90.
And that doesn't help the situation, as this one you will need the replay for that, whether to see
I think
at the moment of touching the ropes, and the umpire, he's decided, that is 4. So bad misfield there, really causing the fielder to have to dive around the boundary there. So another boundary. Both of these batsmen now in the 40s.
I think the same thing that happened in the game Thursday is happening right now, because two of these girls batted really well. And as you said, they are in the 40s and they were doing the same things in the game on Thursday. So I would expect that they will continue to bat through the innings. Even if we want to get out, at least one of them will have to stay and try to continue the innings.
Yeah, and the pitch, I think the pitch has played pretty well so far. Doesn't seem to be offering the spinners a great deal of help, but I think the batsman now, having weathered that early storm, looks very much in control.
As I said earlier, I think that a good score of about 200 would be a good total on this wicket for West Indies to chase, and so far so good to South Africa.
Yeah, they look pretty patient. I mean, that is the impressive thing about this response this morning, is that even with the loss of that early wicket, there really were no rash things being done. Both batsmen just really took a little while to get in, but since they've got in, that's a lovely shot, good use of the feet and nice timing. And batting looks pretty easy right at this moment.
Yes, they got in, they were in for a while, and they understand what is happening with the pitch now. So they are batting quite easy. And I think they have played extremely well this far.
Yeah, and that's one of the better shots that you will see today. Full delivery outside the off stump and struck through extra cover with perfect timing, brings up another boundary. And South Africa, the 100 also comes up for South Africa. Is that 98 minutes and 57 so everything going in their direction.
That's right, very good batting by us.
The ICC Women's World 2020 is coming to Guyana November 9th through the 17th. Tickets start at $500 Guyanese dollars. Corporate packages are also available. Get yours at icc-cricket.com/world 2020.
The innings back because at the moment things are slipping away from them. It's very much in South Africa's favour. Weathered an early storm, lost of that wicket of lead going for a duck, but I think since then it really has been only South Africa and both of these batsmen growing in confidence.
Yes, so far it has been difficult for the West Indies to pick up a wicket, and now we are seeing Shakira Selman being reintroduced into attack, and I hope that she could do something special so the West Indies can obviously get another wicket to put South Africa on the back foot a little bit, because so far South Africa seems to have dominating this part of the game so far.
Yeah, Selma had her first spell from the Malcolm Marshall and she's now switched to the Joel Garner and hoping that it will bring her a change of luck. But obviously the situation has changed somewhat. Both batsmen are now firmly entrenched. First delivery by Selman of Loosener. And she got away with that one, just the one run.
We'll just see how the West Indies can get back in the game at this point, because as we said before, we need to get some wickets, we need another breakthrough.
Another short delivery there, put away down to deep square leg. Another easy single, so runs come in very easily. No one really being able to stem the flow at this stage, apart from the opening burst this morning by Connell. Sadly now the shackles are off.
I think the West Indies could, or the captain could look at introducing another option, a bowling option, and Shemaine Campbell. She is a decent leg spin, and I think that she would do good on this pitch because the South Africans don't know her and now have seen her before. So I think that she come into the attack soon and bring something different to the table. Like, you can probably get a wicket or two.
Yeah, sometimes you've got to do something just a little bit different. And Selman's reaction suggests that there might have been a little edge there by her reaction. But we are a long, long way up here, Pam, up in the 3Ws. Your eyes might be better than mine. So it's difficult to tell.
Right now, I think the West Indies should try and try something different. A new bowler, they can even try Kaisi at night because she can bowl a little middle pace also. So, do something different and try to get a wicket at this point.
Yeah, you're right. Just try and mix it up. Just try and change another slow delivery to complete that over by Selman. The batsman just checking the shot. But you're right. I think Sometimes you have to break away from the tried and trusted and just do something a little bit left field, just to change things up if things are not going the way you want them to go. And you need to find a wicket. What you really need is just find someone who can get you that breakthrough. It's not always the first choice bowler who does that. In every team, there's always somebody in the team who is known as a partnership breaker. And usually their only function is to do that, come on, break the partnership, and then go back into the outfield. I think West Indies need to find someone like that and find them soon, because it's changing bowling.
Captain have now started to bowl. She started well. We will hope that she can find a wicket somewhere, somehow, and get South Africa on the back foot. Got up until now, they have played extremely well.
Nice sweep shot there.
I'm very impressed with Loss. She has played well, really well. She has dig deep. And she has gotten her team to a decent total this far.
Are you surprised that the captain is only just come into the attack at this stage?
No, not really. I mean, the opener bowlers bowl really well, even though they did not get any wickets. So maybe she thinks that it's time to come and try to see if she can get a wicket somehow. And she have gotten the wicket. Short beautifully by DeAndre Dotton at the point area.
Yeah, short and wide, and very good catch there. Batsman cutting the ball away, and diving DeAndre Dotton, diving forward, claiming the catch, and the batsman just making her way back to the pavilion. But it's end of a very good innings and a very good partnership between these two. So Stafanie Taylor, she's the one with the golden arm.
That's right, she has gotten the breakthrough for the West Indies. And I think it came out a vital time in the innings. We just hope that she can continue to make some inroads in the South African innings.
Yes, a welcome breakthrough, because things just weren't going in their direction. They needed that wicket, and Stafanie Taylor has immediately struck a blow for the West Indies, but South Africa still find themselves in pretty good position, a very good start, having lost only their second wicket, so 104 for 2. I think they will be thinking that they should, as you said, get up to 200 plus. You did say they still have a lot of very good batsmen to come, so the platform has been set, and we will see how it unfolds this afternoon. But the captain has done the trick, brought a new batsman to the crease.
And the captain has now come to the wicket. She is also a very decent batter as well, so we will see what she will do.
Just as the captain would like in this over, just reducing the batsman, and that completes a very good first over for Taylor, and a successful one, having broken the partnership, picking up that wicket now. So South Africa, it's 28 overs gone, 104 for 2.
I think the captain will be very happy that she have come in at this time and taken the wicket.
What she needs now is some further support by Selman, who is operating from the Joel Garner end. She will be hoping to remove the other batsman who has been at the crease for a while. Short and wide. Attempted pull. Let's wait and see what the call is. No call. So suggestion. Suggestion. Something off the bat.
There's something off the bat. There's no like by calls, no wise.
But I mean, there was
something.
But there was no involvement by the fielders, as if to say that was a chance or a drop catch, or there was just nothing.
Nothing. Something. Just know what is going on at this point.
And you think it's intentional for Salmon to be? It looks as if she's bowling all slow balls, or is that just the way she bowls now?
Well, usually Salma mix up her deliveries.
Because I'm seeing a tremendous amount of. It seems as if she's just sort of rolling her hands around the ball.
She usually bowls like cutters and off cutters. She tries different variations, and I think that at this point in the game, you could actually try some variations to see what could happen. Yeah, but she's a very good bowler.
So Van Niekerk gets off the mark there quite easily. You can't really see the crowd from here, Pam, because I think most people, nice shot, nice deflection, there's runs there. You can't really see the crowd from here because they'll all be seated beneath us. Well, it looks like the 50 has come up there for Lise, and a very good 50 that has been, and really she deserves that. She's been in 105 minutes, hit 4 fours, and it's been a very good innings, a very controlled innings by Lise. Very strong in one area, but she's done a good job for her team.
Yes, she's done a really good job. Ran up with 50. I think she deserved it. She played really well throughout the innings so far, and she looked composed at the crease. In terms of the crowd, there's some people downstairs, but not a lot of people down there. But there are some people in watching the game and supporting West Indies really well.
Yes, today, unfortunately, as you know, Pam, there's still elite cricket being played in Barbados, so a lot of the fan base for cricket, they're playing themselves, over completed there by Selman, but with all the matches to be completed today, that takes away a large number of potential fans who might want to come and watch the West Indies women perform, which is unfortunate because at this stage I think the women's game need as much support as possible, particularly with that World Cup coming up as well. This should be really used as a curtain raiser.
I believe so also. Today is Sunday and most people will be home with their families enjoying their lunch. But I hope that after lunch that we could actually get a few more spectators in. I think over the next few days we have a few more games to be played, and I would be expecting to see a lot more spectators coming to watch our games. I can remember a few years ago when there was a tri-series here between England, New Zealand, and the West Indies. The 3W stands was full every evening that there were games. In the next couple of days, I would like to see that same amount of crowd that we had a few years ago when I had the tri-series here in Barbados.
Well, the Caribbean is the only place where Sunday is not the biggest sporting day. You go anywhere else in the world. Well ball there by Taylor. Another good over, a maiden over. She started very well. Stafanie Taylor. She's picked up those 2 wickets. She's picked up that 1 wicket. Bowled 2 very tight overs as well. But just getting back to what I was speaking about, the Sunday is a big sporting day everywhere in the world. Biggest crowds are on Sundays. The Caribbean still maintains.
Introducing the all-new
Sunday
500 ml Eco Bottle from Blue Waters. It's easy to open and full of great-tasting sodium-free artesian well water that doesn't spill when you open it, thanks to its wide mouth design. So grab one today. Life is better with Blue Waters.
Oh, but people don't usually buy into the concept of really supporting women's cricket to the fullest. So I would like to see that change and at least have more people thinking that, yeah, we should come and support women's cricket. I think it deserves it. I think the West Indies women have played really well over the years and deserve the support from the public. Whether it be in Barbados or in other Caribbean islands, when the West Indies are playing, I feel that, the girls should get the support that is necessary.
But Pam, it's not just women's cricket. It is running up towards the boundary will win the race, despite a diving effort, all in a losing cause. So another boundary, 4 more to the total. So it's now 113?
130 for 2.
For 2. So.
And the 31st over.
Yeah, but the point I was going to make is that it is not just the women's game on Sunday. I think it is just sport on Sunday. Caribbean, lovely shot. Caribbean people just doesn't seem to want to support sport on a Sunday. I think we still believe in that old-fashioned idea when I was a kid that Sunday you go to church and stay at home. I think that belief still extends around the Caribbean, that is, Sunday is the Lord's Day, we know that, but I'm sure the Lord would not be too unhappy if you were still able to go out and enjoy yourself and bring enjoyment to other people. But I think it goes back to our history, Pam, of we think sport is sport, basically. I think back in my grandmother's days, I think that type of nice shot. I think that type of thinking still exists, that sport is not a serious thing. It is not a profession. It is sport, and it's something not to be taken seriously. Where the rest of the world has embraced sport as something extremely useful, something that can make your life something that can make your life a lot easier, something that is exciting. So really the rest of the world has changed their whole thinking about what sport is, and we continue to embrace the whole idea. I'm not saying that, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that anybody should not go to church, because I think church is also very important.
I don't feel that because you have to go to church on a Sunday that it could really stop you from actually coming out and watching cricket on a Sunday evening. I think on a Sunday evening it is a calm, cool evening, a cool place. You can come, sit down. You don't have nothing to do after church. You don't have nothing to do after lunch. So why not come out and sit down and just enjoy and watch a nice game,
I fully agree with you. I mean, I remember myself being when I was a professional cricketer, I would go to the church very early in the morning because I had to play. I had to play at lunchtime, so I would go early and still go to play the game. But in terms of support in England, Sunday was a big family day out. You got very good crowds. In those days, most of the one-day games were played on Sunday. The longer form of the game would be played during the week and on Saturdays, but Sunday was reserved for the short form 40, 50 over game, and that's when the supporters came out in their thousands to support the game. So weekend sport is, the rest of the world is good tumbling stop. But weekend sport, the rest of the world is something that is grown, and it is now considered to be, very much part of the whole entertainment. Nice shot. Very much part of the whole entertainment package of sport. So I'm putting a call out here to Barbadians and Caribbean people. Come out and support the game.
I can remember when I was a lot younger and I used to go to cricket, when cricket was played in the neighborhood.
Yeah, attempted sweep and wicket there as Taylor struck again. Full length delivery, cross batted shot. So the third wicket goes down, and that early advantage South Africa had now slowly going away, with Lees, the batsman who had just reached her half century, going LBW to Taylor. She's gone for 58 and to 55, and a very good wicket there for Taylor, which means now that 2 new batsmen at the crease.
Yes, I think Taylor brought on herself, and she has bowled well this far. I've taken another wicket. Lees have batted extremely well for her 50. Very good innings. And we'll see what happens from here. As I was saying to you before, when I was younger, when cricket was really cricket, you can go anywhere in Barbados on a Sunday or a weekend and find that there were no spectators. Everywhere was packed. It's only these days that you're not seeing the crowds like before. And I'm not sure what is the reason for that. I am not sure if it is because there has been a decline in cricket, or if it is because people just don't see it necessary to come out and watch sports on a Sunday anymore.
Yeah, but it is not just Sundays. If you think generally what happens to cricket around Barbados, apart from one or two things, you just get a sprinkling of spectators. I think last Sunday we had the final of our T20, of our 50 over competition in Barbados, our biggest competition, and there was barely a sprinkling of spectators here for that final. So that really was symptomatic of, I guess, what people think about cricket and watching cricket. Yet, you look around the world. I mean, yesterday while cricket was going on, we were watching the Vitality Blast in England, the final of that. Full house, completely packed, and that was the final of a T20 competition.
Yeah, that's the difference between cricket.
The ICC Women's World 2020 is coming to Guyana November 9th through the 17th. Tickets start at $500 Guyanese dollars. Corporate packages are also available. Get yours at icc-cricket.com/World 2020.
Good to make sure that cricket play and we have a good structure, so I don't understand why that there has been a decline.
But in terms of reaching the population, do you think the the marketing of the game, reaching the population?
Well, I think so. Just that, some people are not buying into the concept. These days, a lot of young people don't think that cricket is a viable option, but cricket is a viable option.
But it's a much more viable option now than it ever has been.
Yeah, but I still see people trying to play different sports and not taking up cricket as a viable option. You know what I mean? But cricket is a very coordinated sport, so you won't find certain youngsters really buying into the concept. They will try to do different things. They play football, play volleyball, basketball, and these kind of sports which are a lot easier to play.
I mean, they may be a lot easier to play, but cricket traditionally is the sport of the Caribbean. It is the sport that has given us world prominence. It is the sport now that is making a lot of players, both male and female, very wealthy. So at this moment in time in the cricketing world, this is the best time to be playing cricket.
Yes, it is. But
I'm sure it was not the same when you were playing.
No, when I was playing, there was no money in cricket at all. But as I said to Barry earlier, girls are now being paid match fees. They have retainer contracts. They're getting deals to go and play Big Bash and these different kind of cricket tournaments over the world. So it is very viable if it is that you want to play cricket. So I would try to encourage every young female in Barbados and the Caribbean to see cricket as an entity where you can come, learn to play, and then in years to come, it could be a viable career.
Absolutely, and I think the same thing extends to the boys, because the men's game now has never been so lucrative as it had. Certainly in my time and before. I mean, obviously, if you think of the times of some of the West Indian greats, you go back to Everton and others, it was a wonderful game, but without rewards. So 2018 now, the rewards for playing cricket, and you don't have to be an international cricketer either, the rewards now are exceptional. So really we should be doing everything in our powers to encourage every young boy in Barbados, and by extension the Caribbean, every young boy to get into this game and be good at it, because if they're good at this game, it makes life for them and their family certainly a lot easier.
Yes, we have very good cricket programs here in Barbados. We have the Centre of Excellence here at our own BCA for both boys and girls.
Which I'm the chairman, so I'm still here.
Yeah,
so you're right about that.
What I would like to see is that all females, pay more interest in all cricket, because as we just said before, it is lucrative. You can make a career. When I see these girls, since I know here watching these girls play right now, I wish that I was young again, that I could play cricket and be a part of what is going on in terms of being paid and getting deals and contracts all over the world and stuff. So I would encourage any young girl in Barbados or even throughout the Caribbean and the world, like to take up cricket. Women's cricket is a good sport, and surely there's something down the road for you.
I think also, Pam, what is very important is that, and it's perhaps the most important part of what you're saying there, is that you must have a love for the sport, because I think what made the players of the past great was the love of the sport. You couldn't say they played for the money, because there was none. So really they played because they loved the game. They played, took great pride in what they were doing. So I think if you can combine the two, if you can combine having that love for the game, the pride in playing for the sport, representing your country, and then also the rewards to be had from the game. If you can put all those together, it makes it now a much more exciting prospect than it did certainly 15, 20 years ago. But I think the love is important.
Yeah, I think the love is important, and I find that among some of our girls right now, they are talking about money first and then development second. But it should be the other way around. You should talk development and then money, because if you want to be a good elite player, you have to come in and hone your skills and work on your talent, and then be able to, get into a Barbados side or even a West Indies side, and then, the money will come.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, I remember many times during my playing career, I asked myself, would I have played this game if I wasn't getting paid for it? On every occasion, the answer was yes, because it was more to me than actually getting paid for the game. Obviously, it was great to get paid to something that you love to do and you would have done for nothing. And I would like really everyone to have an attitude towards cricket when they're playing, that it's something that you love to do and you just happen to get paid for it. And most people do jobs that they don't like doing. In the world, most people have a job that really they would prefer to be elsewhere, but because they get paid for it, they do it. So as a sportsman, you are extremely fortunate to have the skill and ability to do something that you would do for nothing, but you are paid for it, and there's no better job than that.
I would even like to use myself as an example. I mean, I played cricket in Barbados all my life. Softball, I was one of the softball queen in the Caribbean. I played hardball for Barbados for 10 years. I played for West Indies. Never got paid, but I realized my dreams of making the West Indies team. So I would like to say to the young players out there who feel that they should be paid and not work on their skills to be able to be accessible to the game, that, skills first, get paid second. You got to be good. If you want to make a West Indies side, you got to be good. You don't want to put players out there that can't play. You would eventually get paid, but you got to work towards it.
That's right. And what better way to see the entire world, and you don't have to pay for it. It's a lovely shot. And good piece of fielding too. Good cricket all around. Really, Matthews there diving to her left and being congratulated by her captain for a very good start. But I think you're right, Pam. Can you imagine you can go to every cricket playing country and up and coming countries in the world at the expense of someone else throughout your career? How many other jobs can do that?
You can't. You see the girls travel all over the place. Australia, England, South Africa, New Zealand, India. Where else can you do that?
What other job? Barry Wilkinson is an entrepreneur in Barbados. He wouldn't pay for his staff to go to New Zealand and Australia and South Africa and those sort of places. No way would Barry Wilkinson do that. But nor would any other company in Barbados. So it just tells you that we have something special here in cricket, and we should hang on to it and embrace it and go out of our way to make sure that it survives and thrive and flourish.
I agree with you. So I will ask each young lady, each young boy to buy into the concept of becoming an elite cricketer to represent West Indies and Barbados, because there's a lot to be gained from it.
Well, absolutely. If you just scan this field for a moment and you look here, Hayley Matthews goes all over the place playing T20 cricket. Stafanie Taylor, Deandra Dottin, they travel the world now, not just with West Indies, but with other franchises as well. So these are role models for the young girls around the Caribbean, that I can do that too. Good delivery by Connell, who's been brought back into the attack there. Good pacey delivery, and just unsettling the batsman a little bit. But really, 2018 and beyond now is, this is the time to be in the sport. Barry Wilkinson, he would love to be starting his career now too, because he realized that. And he would want to be good, Barry, and he would work his socks off to ensure that he would be getting something out of the game.
Well, I'm really happy and I'm even excited that, the players, the female players, and years to come for women, so this is the time to get on board, and years to come it will be really big.
And over the last few years, the quality has improved remarkably. I think both the batting, the bowling, and particularly the fielding, there has been a huge improvement in those 3 areas. So I think somebody who hasn't watched female cricket for a long time will be pleasantly surprised at just how far the game has come in a short time.
Yes, because over the years, South Africa and West Indies were at it for a while, and you can see the improvements in South Africa. Last year at the World Cup, the West Indies bowled out for 46 runs in the World Cup.
And that's a T20 shot, reverse sweep, and very well played too, and brings up a boundary. And that shot in itself really has shown the type of improvement in the game.
That's right. And that shot was played by Dupree. I can remember in the practice game we played last Thursday, she played some of those same kind of shots. So, she is very innovative, and she have a lot of experience too. Seems like South Africa will get up to that 200 mark or close. 127 now for 3. We are into the 36 over.
Nicely played. Excellent run in here will bring 2. That's very, very good cricket. And the fielder, Shamina Connell, was moved from that mid-wicket position to a short third man to prevent the reverse sweep, and sensible cricket there as the batsman just moved into a wicket and worked the ball, not with a lot of power because that would have only brought 1 run, but with good placement and timing and picked up two runs and some very energetic running.
At this stage of the game we will see a lot more innovations from these players. Stafanie has continued to bowl extremely well.
That should be a wide, yes, and it is. She's bowled with good control. Nothing complicated about her bowling. I think it's fairly. She has a repeatable action and tries to bowl one side of the wicket. And I guess experience, a lot of experience. That certainly helps. Another tidy over there by Stafanie Taylor. And by Wilkinson is going to come a calling with his blue waters. And I think with what we've seen so far today, we've seen some good cricket, and it's nice to get back to a game that is not only T20 where you see all types of shots being played, to more authentic cricket. As you know, 50 overs, it's a long game. I equate it to a first innings of a match, which allows you to leave some deliveries and just bat normally. We've got a minimum of 300 balls, so it really brings into focus a different type of game. And I think the South African batsmen we've seen so far they have shown to us that they look as if they can bat in the longer form of the game in terms of their technique.
That is why that I like the longer version of the game, because you have so much more time at the wicket and you have a lot more opportunities as opposed to the shorter version. So that's why I prefer 50 over cricket.
Yeah, I mean but I think you can take some things from the T20 game, because what it means now is that when you're good delivery, what it means now that when you get set in the longer form of the game, you're really seeing the ball well, you can then bring some of the T20 shots into play, which makes it even more difficult for the fielding side. So I think what it actually does is it means that the longer form of the game is played. That's a lovely shot, won't get any runs, but it means the longer form of the game now is played with more momentum and more speed and more inventiveness. And the advent of T20 cricket, you find now that Test cricket rattles along at 4 and 5 and over, which means bigger scores on the board in a shorter space of time. So that also has to be good for the game, because people like yourself and myself and our generation who were brought up only on the longer form of the game, and we do have an appreciation for that. It means now that these new innovations that you see in the game, in the shorter form of the game, should add also to the overall excitement of the longer form.
Yes, it definitely adds to it. As you said, in the T20, you can use your innovation to score fast. You can also transfer into a 50 over format, which is good.
At the right time.
Yeah, at this stage of the game is where it's necessary now to pick up. Play shots, be innovative, do different things, to get the run rate taken along.
Yeah, very good cricket there. Good diving stop and a good shot also. Pam, I'm going to step aside now because Barry Wilkinson is hovering over my shoulder, and he will take the next phase of this game. Another 13 overs remaining, and South Africa moving along nicely.
Thank you very much, Roland Butcher. We're just coming up to the break. We've just got about 12 overs left, and it's a period where I asked Pam to do a job, and she did it, which is to get the breakthrough. She got the two batters who were there. She got them out, and now we're seeing another good little partnership between Van de Kerk and Dupree's come to fruition. So it's 134 for 3, Pam. Is this a good total in the building? You think, they can get to 200 easily?
Yeah, the total looking like a decent total. Once they continue to bat, find the gaps, hit the odd 6s or 4s, I think they could get up to this score about 200, which would be a very competitive total for the West Indies to chase.
Now the weather is really good now. We have not had the bad weather since we started at 10 o'clock, half an hour late because of the, of course, conditions, but the weather has been really good and good conditions all around. As this delivery is outside the line of the off stump and cut straight to DeAndre Dottin, and there is no run. So 134 for 3. We're going to welcome Charlene Tate in just a moment. She's also a former West Indies batsman. As this delivery is straight to the straight to the bowler, but in some very, very crafty fielding. She's also run out the fielder, the batsman who was a non-striker, who was out of her crease. A good sense of presence there from Stafanie Taylor, and that means now that South Africa have lost their 4th wicket, 134 now for 4.
Very well done by Stafanie Taylor. She came into the attack a couple of overs ago. Now she's picked up her 3rd wicket. Very well done by her.
Yeah, I think it was that's a run out. So we'll give her the credit for the run out. Stafanie Taylor. I thought initially it was a cotton ball, but it was indeed the run out, and that means now that the new batter coming in is going to be number 25. That's going to be Chloe Tyron, who's going to come in and join. I don't know much of Chloe Tyron. I know she is indeed from, I think, Durban, but that's as much as we know. We have to see her skills and we have to see what she's made of. But they need someone now to pick up the pace, because while we saw that good partnership develop earlier between Sunil Lees and also Laura Wolvart, they have not pushed on, in my opinion, to score something big. So Taylor now bowls, and this delivery is played down to the offside by Van de Kirk. The over has ended. Pam is going to take a break till lunch, and we're going to welcome Charlene to come on, and Charlene is going to take us to lunch, and we'll see how perhaps things will go where this innings is concerned. But Pam, you've continued to do a great job. We're gonna hear from you after lunch. We still have lots to discuss.
Thank you.
Don't you worry. We have lots to discuss. So it's now 134 for 4. 134 for 4. Top score of 58 from Lees. We also saw Wolvart make 45, and we've seen some very good bowling from the captain Stafanie Taylor, who has taken 2 for 15 from her 6 overs. She certainly tidied things up. It's going to be Connell to come back now. Connell has bowled Shemaine Connell has bowled some 6 overs, no maidens, none for 12, and she's back now. 1 for 15, correction. She's back now to continue. Here she comes down. Bowls. This delivery is driven out into the covers, and there is just 1 run. 100 now and 35 for 5. We've had brilliant sunshine here now at Kensington Oval in the Sandals International Series, and with me is Charlene Tate, the former Barbados and West Indies player. Hello to you, Charlene.
Hi, good afternoon to one and all.
Charlene, you are not playing as you used to before for the West Indies, but you're still a big follower of women's cricket. Are you enjoying the exchanges?
Yes, I am. I'm still playing for Barbados though, but I'm enjoying what I'm seeing right here today.
So Charlene, age 34, you've played 16 ODIs for the West Indies, a high score of 47, average of 13, but you've picked up some 6 wickets in those 16 games as an off-break bowler. You consider yourself to be an all-rounder?
Well, right now I more concentrating on the batting, so kind of drop the bowling.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, while concentrating on the batting, I believe I'm doing much better with that.
You think that you underachieved a little bit playing for West Indies when you look at your stats?
Yeah, I didn't get as much games as I would like. So basically, I didn't really got to be in the team as long as I would have liked also.
So back here, that delivery is well flighted and driven into the offside for 1. Talk to me about Shamila Connell. She's a very exciting fast bowler. She's one of these aggressive fast bowlers. What are your thoughts on her as a player?
Well, Shamila come along